Hi, I'm John.
This is Nick.
I'm Andrew, and welcome to the eighth episode of JNA Podcast. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Hope you're washing your hands. I understand the country's starting to open back up a little bit, so hopefully all y'all getting back to work. In this episode, we want to talk about music. We want to talk. We all three of us have a different selection of music that we all like, so I'm very sure you're going to hear a wide variety on this episode. Johnson won the reason wanted to pick the podcast. So what's up, John? Why'd you pick this music as a topic?
Well, Nick kind of inspired me to do it because, we wanted to talk, or he wanted to talk about something, a little bit more lighter last week. And, well, we just started talking about the plague and economics, which not necessarily light topics, I would think. And, music to me is one of the reasons I actually continue existing on this pathetic planet. So, yeah, talk about something nice.
Yeah, that sounds very uppity.
Yeah, well,
That's very depressing.
Made me
No.
depressed.
You start
There's many
down
people,
low.
by the way, that feel that same way. Music is something that has a big influence on many. I understand.
That's
So what's the kind of music that keeps you going in this vain existence?
Well, I do actually have something of a depression playlist, if you will. One band that I do want to talk about and is featured pretty prominently on that playlist is Bloodywood. They are
Heard of.
they are an Indian folk metal band.
Okay, so you said Indian folk metal band. Like they're Indian, they're folk, but they're also metal.
Yes.
It sounds like a band from like a 25th Dimension from Rick and Morty or some shit. That sounds pretty crazy, dude. Like, do they sing in Indian?
Hindu specifically, and then that's actually something I wanted to clarify. Indian dots, not feathers. But yes, there's usually the way they do their songs is that there's a section that relates, or there's a section sung in English, and then there's a section sung in Hindu, or honestly, I don't know what language it is. I think it's Hindu, but I apologize if I'm wrong. And they just kind of create this interesting song out of it. It's got like the Hindu lyrics. It's got thrashing, squealy guitars, and they include traditional instruments like I don't know the names of any of them, but it's like a flute, a drum, just crazy shit.
Let me ask you a
That
quick question, by the way. And this is probably just as much for me as it is everybody else that hasn't heard of that, because I've never heard of them before. But how do they match up to like style of metal? I mean, is it pretty much comparable? Do they have pretty much the same kind of sound and all that, or is it a little different?
I'm trying to think of a good baseline because, quite honestly, I don't listen to anything that's on the radio anymore. Like take, I guess, the timbre of their sound comparable to like say Five Finger Death Punch. That's the only one I can actually remember, and
You know
then
what's
layer on top of that.
funny? Do you know what's popping up in my dumbass mind when I'm hearing you talk about this band? I just remember the episode of South Park where the huge guinea pigs were taking over the town and they needed little flute blends, keep them at bay. I was such an idiot. That's like all that's popping in my mind as he's describing this.
It's funny.
People find them on YouTube and shit.
Yeah, they are primarily on YouTube, but they also, of course, are on iTunes and other shit. If you're a fan of heavy metal, I can't recommend them highly enough. And they even do, kind of like dumb comedy shit too.
Where'd you find them?
I don't remember. Some of you may remember the song. It was a meme for a long time called Tunic Tunic Tune, and it was just some guy like oh so on and so forth.
Sure,
And
that's my summer jam.
huh?
I said, sure, that's my summer jam.
Oh yeah, But I saw Tunic Tunic Tune metal version, and it was just sort of like, okay, we have to. And after that, I was just a fan.
You ever heard anything like this before, Nick?
I've never heard of anything like that before. But
I mean,
to me, music's like art, man. Everybody feels different, sees it different, and kind of feels it differently. So I'm not. Yeah, I could completely understand why he. I mean, so
Sure.
I've never heard of that stuff before. Not really, thing I like to listen to. It doesn't really pleasure, honestly, but each their own, man. Does you justice, man. Congratulations, good for you. Take a listen to it, by the way, just because it's on the on the podcast, and I will kind of check it out. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a listen to it just based off it's folk Indian dudes playing heavy metal. Like I have to at least hear that one time.
I'm kind of curious to see how they compare to everyday
Right.
metal when it comes to, I guess, Metallica, Rob Zombie, and I mean, stuff like that. So I would have to kind of take a listen and see how it compares.
Oh, they fucking slay. And
I hear that shit.
I'll just warn people right now, I have pretty eclectic tastes in music, so you're gonna hear some shit that you've probably never heard of before. And
That's good.
I'm saying in interest of keeping this a little bit more grounded, how about you, Nick? You got any songs that really speak to you or anything?
Songs? Oh, I got many of them. I mean, that's a pretty long list, honestly. As of now, like currently, I'm pretty much stuck on the Eminem's new album. I'm sure Andrew's heard. Godzilla sounds pretty damn good, and Darkness, it kind of touches me a little bit. I mean, when it comes to songs that kind of influence me and things that I like to pick up when I'm like feeling down or something. I mean, Creed, honestly, is a really good band for me. I've been listening to them for quite some time, since my early teens. My Own Prison is one of my favorite songs by them. Gets me going a little bit. One of the best songs by Creed that I like is Arms Wide Open. It's another good song. I mean, the list goes on songs that influence me in different, kind of moods, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, man, I mean, I like a lot of the only two types of music I really don't get into: country and heavy metal. Now, I like Metallica and I like a little bit of Rob Zombie, but there's quite a few songs by Rob Zombie I really don't like. I don't like Slipknot, and I don't get into that screaming into the type thing. But again, teach their own. I mean, people feel things differently. I more or less like rock and hip hop, rap, and stuff like that. That's basically what my focus point.
What about Pantera?
I like Pantera. I mean, there's some songs that I like and really good.
Sure, they classify as
again, I'm not saying I don't like all heavy metal. Just majority of them I don't really like, honestly. Like Metallica, I like. There's quite a few songs to like with Rob Zombie, and yeah, Pantera you can throw in there. There's a couple songs I like with them, but outside that scope,
it usually goes on based on how I feel, man. Like what kind of mood I'm in. Like, if I'm feeling down, like just say if I'm having a depressing day, bad day, or just feeling down, I'm either listening to Linkin Park or 3 Days Grace. So it's emo in me. I can't help it.
The edge.
Yeah, I'm edgy like that, man.
You say that like it's a good thing.
Me pain is life. It generally goes on with kind of, I love all spectrum. Only two kind of music that I can't really get into is techno and country. Beyond that, man, I mean, there's even techno and country songs. I'm sure you could, if you want to dig deep, you could find that I would like. It's not my two genre of music, I guess, but usually just about everything. There's even music that John, you just heard people heard you say that you have like a very wide taste. People, a lot of shit that people probably never even heard. You put me on to people. I'm like, oh, that sounds like the shit. Now it's on like my YouTube subscription. What's that one dude that you had? Well, I can't ever remember his name that you had me listen to recently because he like jams.
Oh, RichaadEB. And links to his stuff down below along with Bloodywood. Anything we mention, I'll try and make sure is in the description. But that's another thing I listen to a lot of is redone video game music, like, okay, real instruments instead of, the bleeps and bloops, chip tunes.
Yeah. He jams out there too. One of my examples, I just pretty much like I saw somebody like finds something good and pops it on. I generally nowadays it's like the radio play. I don't know what's happened to popular music, but it's just I'm getting too old.
I would tend to agree. The newer style rap nowadays, I think it's gone to hell, in my opinion. Honestly, there's a couple good songs, by the way, that I like, but mostly it's basically for the beats. But lyrics are, in my opinion, again, are pretty trash to me. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple songs on the radio I like to jam out to that are pretty catchy. But other than that, the video play nowadays seems just garbage to me.
What year do you think it would be that it started seeming like garbage to you guys?
Oof. I'd say probably the last 8 to 10 years.
What?
the last 8 to 10 years, I'd say.
Since like about 2010.
Yeah, about 2010, maybe 2011 or 12, give or take. Something like that.
You're younger than us, so I figured it'd be like yours would be more recent. I figured yours would have been like 2016 or something.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
What about you, John?
I guess as far as hip hop, I'm not really qualified to say anything because I don't listen to it a whole lot. But
I don't mean just hip hop. I mean just like radio play in general.
I would say probably start of the 2000s, actually.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. There's so much good music in the 2000s.
There was good music in the 2000s, but it was just the start of a trend that I don't really like.
Unlike Linkin Park.
Of course, I like Linkin Park, but no, like when like Linkin Park, Disturbed, and all them really started making their big names, it was different because it was fresher and newer, and it was a style of music that was a radical departure than anything we were listening to our parents play. And that trend of whole life sucks and I'm sad and angry, angsty, angry, that
wasn't all like that, dude. Like Limp Bizkit wasn't like he was the direct opposite of Kid Rock.
Limp Bizkit is basically aggressive anger. Instead of I'm so mad and that sucks, it was I'm so mad and I'm gonna hurt someone.
Hold on for a second, Andrew. I mean, let's hear it from you. What year you think it started going to shit?
Oh, probably about the same time as you. Probably about 2010. I could push it towards like about 2012, but like that's like really pushing it. I'd usually have to have a few drinks in me. But yeah, about the same time as you, Nick. Probably about 2000 around there. Or take a year. Hold up. I want to jump back because the way like John, why you're like generalizing the music like that, or just it's anger, or it's like whoa me. Pick a decade, dude. I could do the same thing. Where do you go back to the 60s? Like peace and love, man. We shouldn't be working. Like that's basically their
It is, but okay. I mean, let's face it. It is kind of personal taste. There is no denying that. Yes, the message of that era was really just kind of okay. It was nice when it got started, but it got stale quick. I mean, there's so many ways, or there's only so many ways you can say I'm sad and the world sucks.
Oh, all right. Let me ask you. They've been basically doing that at pretty much every decade in their own unique way. I mean, you had the 60s was peace and love, 70s was kind of like a little bit more edgier than you had the 80s where it's like all razor sharp, wearing leather. Yeah, the 90s where we were just like got taken over by the Beast Boys and NWA and moved. I mean, well, let me ask you guys this then. What decade would you, if you could only listen to one decade's music, what decade would it be?
Ooh, now you go first.
Me? Oh, me go first. Oh shit, my bad. I'd have to pick 90s. So like 80s was like would be probably be like a very close second, but I'd probably pick 90s because 90s you got the most iconic rock and some of the most iconic rap, and I love both. Just have to pick.
How about you, Nick?
I'm actually gonna have to say, and you're gonna hate this, John, but I'm gonna have to say the early 2000s, 2010. I'd say. I think prior to 2010 was music. It's just my era, so of course I liked it. Now 90s, I'll give that to Andrew. I would say the 90s as well. But a lot of my favorite, rap groups and rock bands, I kind of listened to them in the early 2000s, and they were kind of like really popular during that time. So I'm going to say the early 2000s. But the 90s definitely is, it's definitely there. I was born in the early 90s as well, so I mean. That's definitely a good one, but I'm gonna have to say the early 2000s, 2000, 2010. I'll have to say
that was close for me, just because of the rap. I mean, I like the older rock. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge 3 Days Grace and Park fan. I just prefer a little bit older rock, especially 80s. But I couldn't pick 80s because it had no rap. So I'm I was close to the 2000s too, Nick. What about you, John? What's your decade?
Now I guess I'm going to actually be the outlier, and I would say probably 2010 to current.
What? You just said you couldn't listen to the radio.
Well, okay.
Thing I've ever.
I'm gonna let him explain himself. Before I kind of touch on this. Go ahead, John. Please elaborate on what.
Okay, since a lot of what I listen to now and a lot of what I have listened to in the past decade or so has come from let's just broadly say internet musicians and more independent musicians, rather than say big bands under a label or something like that. Most of what I've really, really come to enjoy, with a more refined palette for music, if you will, has been part of the past 10 years or so. There are people who are just really stepping up the game in terms of music, musicality, timbre, just everything that band kid me came to learn and love. So yeah, like, I mean, all of the music that I love now is being produced within the past 10 years. So
Um, okay. I could see
If you had to
that.
pick, if you had to pick a second decade,
a second decade, 80s.
uh, yeah,
I
I can
love
see
my.
it. It's
Let me throw this
for the
question
rock.
out there to you.
Hmm.
Let me throw this one out there to you. Out of our selections, and I'll go first, by the way. Out of our selections, why do we like that decade the most? I'm going to say me personally. That's Eminem, Ti, Ludacris, Jay Z. That's when the big names. I'm mostly I like hip hop and rap. That's when my favorite rappers all really kind of took off. So that's my reason why. So I want you guys to kind of get a little take on why is the decade you decided what category of music was important to you.
Mine was because Tupac, Biggie, Rakim, Nas, Ludacris, Jay-Z, like all their early stuff was some of my most famous shit. Then you got like Dr. Dre, you got Snoop Dogg, obviously all the rap. Also like things like Nirvana or Nine Inch Nails, Alice in Chains, stuff like that. It's just I love rap, pop, and like rock, and I love them all. So like that's the reason why the decade thing would be hard for me because I could like sit there and listen to like Linkin Park or something like that from like 2005, and then turn around and listen to like heavy metal Pantera from back in the 80s. Like I could
Mm.
jump all over. And the reason why I ended up picking 90s because it seemed like it had the best mix. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure M's first album came out in '99 too. I'd have an album.
Well, so did Ludacris. Both of the Ludacris came out in '99,
Yeah.
and so did Eminem. But you come think about it, man. When their first album came out, it's not like they blew up that first year. And they blew up in early 2000s, and I think everybody can agree on that. They blew up in early 2000s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
AZ, he was more mid 90s, I would say. Now, Pac, Biggie, Rakim, those were all early 90s, of course, so that's a definite. But, Jay Z, he came out in the mid 90s, so you can take that. But with his classic albums, I think that came out like 01
I'm talking about just their CDs they came out with in the '90s. I'll take that. The music they came out with in the '90s, I'll take it. I like the
Absolutely.
older shit better.
Absolutely. I agree, by the way. But again, their older shit I still classify as early 2000s because that's when they kind of came out with the best shit. Chicken and Beer. I mean, everybody knows the Chicken and Beer CD, right?
Mm.
And that was the early
Beer
2000s.
came out. Chicken and Beer came out in the
That's what I'm saying.
Southern Hospitality was his first CD came out with, and I think it came out in like '97 or '98.
I think it was
Give or take a year.
Incognito, I think. That came out in '99. Hold on. Incognito in 1999 was his first album.
All right.
Ludacris came out in 1999 after or before.
Okay.
2000 was Southern Hospitality, but
Let me ask y'all something. Like one of the other pretty deep into like why we all like Eminem. Like the future, like I said on the future after we had that podcast, I just started thinking about like this in general. Is a rapper you guys think would beat Eminem in a freestyle? Right? Hold up. But what's another rapper you guys think you could put if he actually wrote it down and it wasn't a freestyle like a song?
Your question is who do I think would beat Eminem in a freestyle? What your question is?
Yeah, no, I'm saying give me two. Like, give me a rapper you think they could beat M in a freestyle. They give me a rapper you think you could do it, but not in freestyle, but like writing it down in music.
I don't think anybody could beat him just freestyling. I think he's the master at that. Honestly, I'm gonna say that myself. Somebody that could beat him with writing. I'm gonna have to say like Nas, maybe. I say maybe, but I don't know. That's push. Eminem to me is the greatest rapper of all time, whether it be freestyling or writing on a pad of paper. I mean, the dude's just a lyrical mastermind, in my opinion. So it's kind of hard to even kind of say who would kind of beat him because I have yet to kind of see anybody that's come across him beat him in any kind of freestyle battle or rap battle in general.
He doesn't like really battle like the best out there though. That's the thing. Like there is a freestyle battles you can look up. Like he had one against Cannabis got in. But I guess that one would pretty much be like your own point of view. Who do you think won that battle? Like he's not untouchable when it comes to freestyle battle, dude. I think there's freestyle battles out there.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, that's just like saying there's basketball players that could beat Jordan in a basketball game. I'm sure they're out there. We're talking about known people, somebody that's known that could, actually stand up hand to hand with them. I can't really name anybody that can stand up hand in hand with them just freestyling. I really don't.
What about you, John? The same two questions.
Again, in freestyling, I really don't think there's a fair competition. At least, I mean, I'm gonna be completely open and admit that's it. Freestyle battles aren't something I really follow. As far as in songwriting, again, I mean, the dude is he's a master musician. Even if his style of choosing is rap, I honestly think he could compose a decent track in about anything if he really put his mind to it. So I'm going to take your question and I'm going to twist it a little bit. I would like to see Eminem and Twista just do a speed rap battle.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be. I'm curious to know your answer, by the way, Andrew. I'm very curious since you kind of asked this question, and I want your take on the question, Andrew, based on your response to mine. I'm really curious to hear who you think can stand up with him.
All right. Well, when it comes to freestyling, I mean, I tend to agree with both you guys. The guy's like on a level as his own when freestyling, but like I said, I don't think he's untouchable. I don't know, man. I think I can't help to think, but Luda might have a chance to get him down if he's having a good day against. Just can't help to think that, man. You need to go back. People need to go back and listen to Chris freestyle because it's just fire. Dude can fucking freestyle.
Stop. Hold on. Are you saying that you really think that Luda, pad and paper?
I don't.
Nobody can stand
Ludacris would beat him in a right. I'm not saying that Ludacris would beat him in a freestyle battle. I'm just saying that he's got a chance.
Well, you're saying two of the same things here. First, you said that nobody could beat him in a freestyle battle. Now you're saying that he stands a chance, or do you mean he stands a chance using pen and paper?
Oh, freestyle.
Okay, freestyle. Gotcha.
Yeah. But when it comes to freestyle, I don't think there are too many people out there. Like I think Ludacris could stand a chance. There's a lot of cats out there nowadays that are killing it in freestyle. So you could probably hop online and you'd probably find some dudes that could actually give it some. Names I'm sure people know, but I just don't happen to know them. When it comes to putting pen to paper and like making a song, I think it depends on the level of beef it's got with. If this person's like really pissed them off, then it's like very hard to find anybody that's gonna go song for song because that motherfucker will make an entire album dedicated to your ass. He does not let go of grudges easily. He really does not. I think Ice Cube could probably do it. Nas definitely. That Nas is definitely up there. Like Nick, I agree with not the freestyling, but the writing to pen to paper. Like I think Nas has got a pretty good chance of like beating. Nas is a really underrated.
Definitely, I agree.
Who's
also an underrated lyricist when it comes to kind of rap battling on pen and paper? Believe it or not, is the Game. Very underrated because the Game, he's 50 down. I mean, I think. I wholeheartedly believe this, that he kind of like ended 50's rap career right there. Really do believe that he did.
His 50's career never really picked up again once 300 bars of running came.
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, you agree to that. Yeah, I could definitely.
Right? The Game's awesome, man. Like that's one of the music in the 2000s that I love. That 90s gangster rap attitude, and like he maintained it into the 2000s when other people were losing it. He's underrated rap.
Whatever happened to him, by the way? I haven't heard much of him.
So, he's still out there, man. He got that a fucking butterfly tattoo on his face. People started making fun of him for it. I don't think his career has picked up since then. He's changed it to like LA, but it was just like he would like turned into like what do you call it? Those Disney kids, they grow up, they kind of become like weird and insane, and they kind of seem like they happen to the Game.
I like the example. You know, like those Disney kids. That's funny.
As a segue.
What about you, John? I know you're not like huge into rap. Do you like the Game? Like, what's some rappers?
Well, I don't know who the game is, so I'm just gonna leave that
Oh,
out there. And that was
Yeah,
as a segue, since we're talking about rap battles, here's a another one of my weird eclectic tastes. Have you guys ever heard of epic rap battles of history?
yeah, I have actually.
Okay, Nick.
To explain it to what it is to
I
Nick, I guarantee you he has
All
I
right.
haven't honestly. No, I don't know why that would surprise you, Andrew, but no, I haven't.
Well,
not.
this is a bit eclectic, but epic rap battles of histories is done primarily, or it's done primarily by two rappers named Nice Peter and Epic Lloyd, and the premise is that they have a rap battle between two major historical figures, or like major characters in fiction. Like they had one Zeus versus Thor, or like RoboCop versus the Terminator, or they've had a battle between pretty much every presidential election since Obama.
Have you ever seen when on like it's on social media all the time? You ever seen when they do it like the comic book ones with like Deadpool versus like
Boba
whatever
Fett.
like yeah some stuff like that. You ever seen them do that, Nick?
Yeah, I've seen like I think the Facebook page is called the Watchtower, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's the same along those kind of lines he's talking about.
Get it? Cool. Do you want to play that game, John? Is that why you brought it up?
No, it was more just sort of we were talking about rap battles, so I figured I'd bring up ERB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't hate, dude. I find this shit hilarious. I find the comic book crack me up. They do like Wolverine versus I don't know, like Batman in a rap battle. They do like other ones besides. They do other ones besides comic book characters too. They'll do like all sci-fi characters.
Yeah.
So I got a good one to throw out there. Now, the question Andrew brought up with anybody that could beat Eminem in a freestyle, that one was kind of one sided because Eminem is known for freestyling and kind of ripping people apart. So I'm gonna kind of throw a little tougher one out there, if I will, and let's see what you guys think about this one. Chris, the same question by the way. Who do you think can compare with him in the freestyle? Who do you think can compare with him on pad and paper? You got Ludacris, and let's say Ice Cube in his prime.
Oh, the first one I kind of talked about because, like I said, Eminem. Like I think Eminem could take down Ludacris in the freestyle. Even a pen to paper. Let's just for the sake of argument, let's like M doesn't exist. I wanted to pick up some different people. Not really sure, man. That would be a tough one. I think. I honestly think Jay-Z could do a pretty good job of taking down Ludacris in a freestyle, and like be if they were doing like song, I could see Nas taking him down. Ice Cube's another one of those ones that's like a challenging one because Ice Cube's got like that same effect that Eminem does. He like tends to kill careers when people want to rap again. He came out and like battled all NWA and they broke apart the group because that's how good he was. Freestyle, I think there's a few guys out there because I don't think Ice is really up there when it comes to like freestyle skill. I think of any number of them, like Ludacris, Nas. I think a lot of people could beat him in a freestyle, but writing down again, that's a tough one, dude. Because Ice Cube's not just gonna make like one song. This okay, then you make your song, then I come back. Like Ice Cube's gonna make 3 songs about it, and you keep mentioning him until it infuriates you until you made dumbass shit out of it. But I mean, so that's a really tough one. I think Nas would be able to beat him down battle. I think Nas would be able.
What about you, John? First of all, do you know who Ludacris and I know you know who Ice Cube is. I know you know who that is. But do you know who Ludacris is?
I do know who Ludacris is, but to be completely honest, it's not something I've listened to a whole lot, or perhaps I've listened to them and just didn't know who was doing it. So I kind of got no opinion on this.
I'll throw mine out there. I'll say when it comes to Luda, and I meant to kind of say this when I asked the question, like exclude Eminem because obviously we've already covered that one. So with excluding Eminem, I would have to say when it comes to freestyle, there's not many. I don't think who's a pretty tough guy when it comes to kind of like freestyling. I've heard some of his earlier stuff, but I would say Nas. I would have to maybe even say The Game. I would say those two would probably a tough matchup. When it comes to pad and paper, that's a tough one. I think Nas would be one of the only ones I could, really kind of think of right now that would be able to stand toe to toe with him. Although T.I. kind of failed miserably. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to pad and paper, I think much tear up a lot of others. Again, excluding Eminem, I really can't come up with one. Now, you mentioned Jay-Z, and I am going to kind of agree with that because they're both metaphor geniuses. So I definitely will give that to you. I still think I'll give the edge to Luda when it comes to a rap battle itself. Ice Cube freestyling, like you said, Andrew, he's not really known for freestyling as much. So I mean, there is probably many people that can kind of flow circles around him. Nas, The Game, I would throw in there. Luda, I would throw in there. I don't know if I'd say Jay-Z, honestly, because he's really not known for freestyling either, from my understanding. It comes to Pad and Paper with Ice Cube. That one's another tough one because everybody knows the famous No Vaseline song that pretty much tore up NWA. And so that's a tough one, but I still think that if given the right energy, like the right beef, I'm gonna give some props to the Game, man. I really think the Game could probably stand toe to toe with him. I really do, because if he's got enough anger and he's got enough energy to kind of beef with him, I really think that he could stand toe to toe with Ice Cube.
I don't think the Game would. I think he's got too much respect for Ice Cube. I think he'd fail on purpose.
Fail on purpose for all the fight.
That's where we're talking about, like, raps and stuff that I doesn't really know about. Now, let me ask you something. So we're talking about, like, the Game, and me and Nick both agree like the Game's underrated. What's a heavily underrated band for whatever kind of band, whatever kind of rock band you want?
I don't know if they're technically underrated, but I think they're one of those bands that everybody has heard but doesn't really know that's who they are, and I would say that's Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for Cutie. Do you have a couple songs that you could throw out there to me? That you said a lot of people know of them. I don't
know. Let's see. No Sunlight, Little Bribes, fucking what was that one? You Are a Tourist. It's one of them bands that, like, if you heard them, I genuinely think you would go, oh yeah, I've heard them before, but you don't know who the hell they are.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't think I would.
John hit it on the nail. There's many bands that I actually know, but I don't know them by their band name. I know them by the songs I hear from them. You know what I mean? So I'm sure if I heard some songs, I probably heard it before. It doesn't ring a bell though, honestly.
That's they kind of blew up, I guess, in actually the 2000s to 2010s, and the main thing I actually remember hearing them from is, like TV and movies and shit like that, and it was just sort of like, oh yeah. And then somebody recently got me into, just actually listening to them, and as I was listening, it's just sort of like, oh, I've heard this song. Oh, I've heard this song. Oh, I know this one.
That happens to me with a lot with bands, just because I have such I'm great at identifying the music, but I'm terrible at the band name. I swear to God to you, dude, I love like probably 3 or 4 different 3 Days Grace songs, and I thought they were all by different bands for like the longest fucking time. I had no idea they was. I'm like, oh my God! It's not only was it the same band, they were all in the same.
I got a quick question to pose to you guys. Give me top 3, just off the top of your head, and I'm sure that they think of others. Really dive into it. Give me your top 3 bands that you could think of right now that kind of influences you the most, or kind of gets your blood flowing the most, or hype, or gives you that energy. Give me top 3 bands. Go, John first.
Okay, yeah, John, you go first, so I could think.
Okay. I'm gonna actually have to swerve just a little bit, because as far as bands, like most of what I listen to now isn't a complete band. So one Bloodywood, E-Rock 331 or 31. Honestly, I don't remember. And Bandmade, definitely Bandmade.
Are each one of those like metal, or are they just classic rock type of category? What kind of category are those 3 bands? I personally don't know either.
They are all strictly metal, and part of the reason I like them is that they are metal at the highest class, I would say.
What do you mean by the highest class? I don't know what you mean.
I grew up playing music in school, and it was what really kind of created my interest, or the depth of my interest in music. So I know a lot about, playing music and shit like that. And the skill and the orchestration that these bands have is probably beyond reproach, honestly. Like they are just creating very technically competent, very skillful, very well mixed tracks, and they're just beautiful. Um, I would like to spend one just the little section. If you like metal, if you like metal, squealing guitars, and you're not bothered by the fact that the lyrics would be in another language, Bandmade. These these girls are the Eminem of metal right now. They are just that fucking good.
I hear the passion in you. They have to be that good.
Like,
Listen to them.
I want to say something, and I say this with no bias, well, with plenty of bias, but I say this with as little bias and as genuinely as I can. Bandmade is one of those bands that in 10 years we will talk about like one of the greatest classics. They are just phenomenal.
That's a strong way to put it.
Uh,
I can't disagree or agree because I really don't think I've ever heard of them, honestly. But I'll definitely have to check them out. Definitely have to check them out.
I might have to change the name of this topic to John explains his music to Andrew and Nick.
Well, I mean, let's face it, y'all just spent a giant segment on rap music, and I just kind of went, So,
True that, man. True that. I'm all for it. What about you, Andrew? Top 3, go.
I say like a completely random name, so I sound like I listen to off-brand music like John. I'm gonna say like Wolfapalooza. All right, no, I'm just When I think of, I know that was the lamest joke. But, when I think about like top 3 favorite bands, I just generally gonna have to think about what I listen. Without a doubt, it would be Linkin Park, Queen, Metallica. Those are like the 3 bands that I tend to listen to more than any other band, any other. And I'm on Pandora, like they're my first top 3. So yeah,
Alright.
that's what it is.
How about you,
And just
Nick?
for me, I'm gonna have to say Creed for a specific reason, which is this album, My Own Prison. Every one of those songs are just like magic to me. I love those songs. I'm gonna have to say Metallica. I said I don't really like metal bands, but he's saying Metallica I do like, so they're one of my favorite as well. And this is gonna kind of throw you off, and this is only because I've listened to them more frequently, and part of their newer stuff is actually really good. So is their older stuff, but their newer stuff is really good as well. Maroon 5, I like them.
Really?
Maroon 5, I like that band pretty well. They're pretty good.
That's what I just said. Nickelback.
I do like Nickelback, by the way. For some reason, I see so much hate about Nickelback.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I like the Nickelback's old songs. I don't like their newer shit, but
so do I. I like their older stuff as well. But I hear a lot of people hate on Nickelback lately. What is up with that, John? Do you like Nickelback?
Like is a strong word, but they're not terrible.
Okay. So you're on the.
Let me
fence
put it
about
this
them.
way: if they came on the radio, I would think at least before switching the station.
But I think it's funny that Nickelback gets hated on so much, and like everybody's acting like they never sang "fucking I want to be a rock star" back then. Everybody jammed that. Everybody jammed.
I so agree with that. I mean, you can even there's a couple other songs you could throw in that mix too. That if you put it on, you're going to see that person singing the lyrics or kind of a lip singing it. I don't get all the hate about Nickelback. I really don't. Their older stuff was really good. I mean, Photograph, the Alone song, Rockstar. I mean, they have some really good songs.
I think what it's going to be like is kind of like Vanilla Ice did. When Vanilla Ice first came out, everybody kind of liked them, and it became really popular to hate them. And a certain time passed, people look back on it like everybody likes Ice Ice Baby. You know what I mean? It just kind of accept. I think that's what's going to happen with Nickelback. You know what I mean? People are just going to act like they're going to hate him for the longest time. They're gonna look back on it to like, yeah, everybody loves I want to be a rock star.
I don't know. I don't agree with that, honestly. I don't put them in the same kind of category as Vanilla Ice. I don't think I can, honestly, because Nickelback. I like a lot of their songs, man. So I'm gonna have to disagree. Never. What's that? Never Scared, I think it is, or whatever it's called. I mean, there's so many good songs by Nickelback, man. I mean, I like them. They're not one of my favorite bands because nowadays, in my opinion, but still like them. They're still in, say, my top 15, 10 maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Strong, dude.
Yeah.
What about you, John? What's a It's a band, singer, rapper. Just name me somebody or a band that you think that gets hated on but doesn't.
Gets hated on, but doesn't it? Honestly, my answer for that was going to be Nickelback because I mean, uh, that's it. I genuinely don't see what all the hate is about. That's it. You know, they're decent songs. I mean, it's standard radio fare. It's what you're gonna get. But the only song that of theirs that I really take issue was that whole, you know, we're gonna start a revolution thing, like a bunch of Canadians telling Americans to rebel. That song was made with such a profound lack of self-awareness. I can't help but cringe at it.
Like I said earlier, man, I mean, music to me is like art. People feel, people see, people think differently about each and every single song and, you know, artists. So, I mean, yeah, that's what you feel. That's what you feel. I personally, I don't really, you know, pay much too mind to that. It's just a song to me. And I understand they're trying to send a message and all that, but I can kind of say, yeah, okay, whatever. I have technical views or kind of views on that type of thing, and I have my own, but I still like their songs. Maybe not that one. Still like their songs.
Yeah.
What do you guys think be like best singer? What do you think? Hey, what's the singer do you think that has like the best voice? You don't necessarily have to fall in love with their music, but what kind of singers do you think have like the best voices out there? What do you think, John?
Right now, definitely Adele. The woman's got pipes. She's got, you know, just great technical ability, great vocal agility. So she's probably at the top of the game right now.
I don't think I could to one Adele. So if I did, I don't know. I wouldn't remember it if I did. Honest. I'd have to pop on like I'd have to pop on one of her songs that like she's actually like trying to sing and not just like a poker face song. You know what I mean? I'd have to give it a try. What about you, Nick?
That's actually tougher than I think. Singer. If I had to just kind of like come off the top of the head without really thinking about it too much, wow.
All the time in the world to think.
No, I mean it's actually tough. It's really tough. I mean,
want me to answer why you think about it?
Sure, please. Give me a second here, please.
I think it's like a few. He starts.
Dude, that's copyright. Let's just go on, move.
How's that copyright?
You know it is.
I always just answer the question. I do. When it comes to like the singers, there's like a few different ones. But I mean, guys, like I don't like her music, but like Christina Aguilera, at one point in time, like when I hear her sing, they had like the most powerful voice.
Yeah.
Just never particularly like her music. Somebody I do love the music. Has got a terrific voice. Is fucking Freddie Mercury.
Oh yes. Oh, I thought you meant recently, not of all time.
Freddie Mercury just had that voice that could get an entire stadium popping.
Oh yeah.
I'll throw one out there. I have to say, you know, between Mariah Carey, I don't really like their music either way, but when it comes to the voice, just to answer the question, Whitney Houston, she had a really good voice too. I'd even throw in Cher. Cher had her pretty damn good.
Whitney Houston had some fucking pipes, bro. That woman could sing.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, if we're talking,
I'm surprised one of you guys didn't say. I'm surprised one of you guys didn't say some shit like Michael Jackson.
What were you saying, John?
I was gonna say if we were talking all time, then yeah, definitely Freddie Mercury. On the subject of Michael Jackson, though, I don't know about him. He's definitely a good singer. Let's not mince words about that. But as far as one of the best voices, one of the best vocalists, not really.
I didn't even give him a thought.
That motherfucker, anyways. I don't like.
Well, there is one thing I will give to Michael Jackson. As far as I don't think there's ever been a better showman in music. The dude just like everything, his movements, his singing, you know, his choreography, just fucking completely precise.
Yeah, I could get what you're saying there, dude. But ever since I've seen that Leaving Neverland Ranch, dude, I can't fuck him. I can't picture anything else besides like I hope like he's going through stuff or something. That's a fucked up documentary. Okay, dude, it's terrible. Like he was terrible. Back and like you actually start paying attention about Michael Jackson, like old videos and shit. Like he always had one little kid that was like his little side chick, just had sidekick tagging along with him all the time. He was like pretty much just, out there in the open that he was a pedophile. Like always, and it was always the same age, around anywhere between to 14 years old. Always the
Mm.
same age. And the kid got too old. He recycled and had a new one. Come on, man. That was terrible. People were
Yeah.
just cheering him on. Like, oh, we like your.
I got a question to pose to you guys. I got a quick question to pose to you guys. What kind of music, and if you want, name somebody, name an artist or a band that really kind of matches up with this. When you're trying to get hyped up, whether it be because you're going somewhere, you want to have high energy, going to work, and you're kind of like sluggish, you want to kind of amp yourself up, or you're going to a party, rave, whatever. What kind of music, in what band or artist would you? What would be your go-to song or album play to amp yourselves up?
Depends on what exactly I'm trying to amp myself up. I'm trying to amp myself up like I'm going to the club or something like that. I'm like listening to like Lil Jon. Trying to amp myself up because I think like I'm gonna have to step outside and throw some bows, and I'm listening to like Pantera. Like it depends on exactly what I'm trying to amp myself up for.
Yeah, what about you, Joe?
I can actually name you a couple of specific tracks. I mentioned them earlier. E-Rock 311 or 331, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get this right. He does a metal rendition of "Kiss on a Rose" by Seal. It's completely instrumental, and it's just fucking. The whole goddamn track is a celebration. You can't not come out listening to that, feeling a little amped up. Another track would be Wiley 2 by Walt Ribeiro. It's a orchestral cover of a song from Mega Man. And the third one, definitely Bloodywood, Ari Ari, because it's literally just screaming and let's fucking go.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say, and Andrew, the way you put it was pretty good. If I was like going to fight someone, I would say, I guess one of the songs I would have to put on would probably be like Rob Zombie Dracula. That song always gets my blood flowing. Yep.
Right.
If I was just like going to the club and just kind of getting amped up, trying to party and have a good time, Little John would be, I guess, one of those. I guess you could also throw in the mix. Let's see here. There's a couple of them I had in mind, but they kind of like slipped my tongue, if you know what I mean. Oh, remember Youngbloods? Andrew, I know you remember them. Residential and all that. Those are pretty good, like hype songs going. I remember us going to parties back in the day listening to those songs. That's the reason why I say it. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on the atmosphere that you're trying to get amped up for. But definitely Rob Zombie. Dracula. I mean, that song will amp you up quick. That song. Remember the video game? And John, you remember the video game Twisted Metal? Remember that game? We all got amped up when that song came on, right?
That song was perfect for that too, man.
Yeah.
Dracula was like perfect for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's just riding around shooting missiles like Dracula.
Absolutely.
It depends on like exactly what I'm trying to do, man. Like, say if I'm about to go on a date or something like that, I'll pop on some T-Pain like Bartender.
Come on, man, you gotta take that shit. If you go on a date, you gotta take it back. Depending on the age of the girl, I guess. If she's a little older, I mean, I would throw on, some Keith Sweat. I mean, Brian McKnight. You know what I mean? Maybe those kind of songs. But if you're, if you're going clubbing and shit, T-Pain, that kind of music and category, then yeah, absolutely.
I think T-Pain's universal. Up on Bartender, I don't care if she's 40, if she's 20. I think she's gonna want to dance.
That's true. That's true. It's true.
So let's do some criticism. Let's do some critical thinking. We've all talked about music that we like. What about that style of music appeals to you? What grabs you by the jellies and says, hey, this is what I like?
Which all the music I've been discussing or we've been mentioning?
Yes.
Okay. Instance like rap and hip hop, man. Me, I just flow of it, the way it makes me feel. Like it's always been like that for me. Then you feel like in your heart. I mean, like it just makes your body want to move. It's like a good rap song comes on. It's the first thing you start doing. Your head starts bobbing. You're just going, and like it just the feel for it. It's just had this certain amount of soul into it. It's like it feels like it was been touched by an angel. It's like it touches my soul. It's like rock and stuff. when I'm listening to like Linkin Park, it's more of I'm in a depressive state, and it just like I don't know, like that emo in me, like nobody understands me, kind of feeling just comes out, and that's what kind of really grabs me about that. If I'm sitting there and I'm listening to terror or whatever, something like that, it's more of I don't know, I guess I would say more aggression.
Hmm.
And each and everything that pops on, it really goes based off of my mood. But I can enjoy listening to music without being in the mood to listen to it, but I don't like it. I don't fully enjoy it unless I am in that kind of mood.
So catharsis.
Does that mean?
Oh Christ. Catharsis is uh, the release of a given emotion. It's, the declension from tension. And a bunch of other words that I'm probably going to say, and you're just going to go, uh-huh. Basically, the music makes you feel better because it reflects your emotion.
It's cool. I was describing, I suppose. Yeah.
That's catharsis.
Now you know.
The more you know. Now, how about you, Nick?
I would have to kind of break this down two ways. One, what Andrew is saying when it comes to emotion depends on how you're feeling. If you're feeling kind of depressed, I mean, I go to Linkin Park, like Andrew was saying, Creed, I would go there. There's a couple songs of Go Back that kind of remind me of my mom, so that kind of brings me back. If I'm like with hip hop and rap, it's more along the lines, depending on, hip hop itself is more like, trying to amped up, trying to feel a little hyped up and just high energy. But rap itself, Eminem, I can say for example, the reason why I like him so much because a lot of his songs I can relate to. So I guess that's a big part of it, other than just emotion. It's just kind of, especially depending on what kind of mood you're in, man. I mean, depending on what kind of song you're listening to, you kind of like, not only do you hear the lyrics, I mean, you kind of feel them because it's similar to what you're going through or similar to what you have been through, and that's just kind of the mode you're in or whatnot. I mean, that's the kind of thing that grabs me to them is, things that I can relate to on the music and just, depending on what kind of mood or emotion I'm in. What about you, John?
Catharsis definitely does play a big part of it for me. Yes, we're coming back to that because it seems to be the theme. But one of the things that really appeals to me about the music I listen to is it's very technically proficient. Like the chord progression is a- done well. Uh, what they're doing with the music itself is interesting in terms of like the narrative they have in it. Obviously, skilled vocalists are a big plus. Even though I do listen to quite a bit of instrumental music, and there are some bands that I listen to kind of more for the novelty of it than anything.
You get that. I think it's worth pointing out too, man. Like for me, at the very least, I mean, there's some music I listen to, dude, and I'm just liking it just merely for the lyrics, instrumentals or whatever, or beats. Instrumentals are just basically background noise for the lyrics because the lyrics are the ones speaking to me, giving me that catharsis.
Hmm.
Or it could be the beat. I mean, there's songs that I listen to, and I don't even like the words. I wish the singer could on it, but I still listen to it because the band killed it.
Right.
So I had those too. Like I'm a huge fan of the drummer from Five Finger Death Punch. It's insane to me.
Mm.
I love that drummer. And there's like, I'm not a huge Five Finger Death Punch fan. There are a few songs by him I really love, but as when it comes to the CDs, like they're mad to me. But it's just the drummer from there, and he's fucking insane. I love him.
Uh, you are really going to like Bandmate then because Akane, the drummer, is fucking nuts.
I'd have to listen to that then, man. I'm a huge sucker for the drums.
Drums and guitar do make a band for sure. They're the most skilled out of them all, I would say. I mean,
most likely,
especially the drums. The drums, to me, like, I guess I've tried to, because I've messed around with them a little bit, and I've not really played the drums. It's just something I've kind of toyed with when I've, went to a buddy's house and had a drum set or not. If you ever tried to play the drums, it's a lot harder than you think it is. It's very hard to come up with solid, consistent beat with the drums, other than just kind of tapping on one. If you want to make like a serious beat or a rhythm, it's actually easy to do on a drum set. It really is not.
all instruments are like that, man. Like the guitars, like that piano, like they make the shit look easy. But I've tried myself learning instruments, and gotta keep picking them up and going along until I find like really what works for me. Learning instruments is a bitch, man. It takes a lot of practice. It takes dedication. It really, and like once you, I think John knows too, man. Like John, I think he's been learning to play the guitar for the past couple.
Bit of strong language. I've been toying around with learning guitar for the past couple of years. It's like if I wanted to sit down and really dedicate myself to it, I mean, I'd probably get further than I am. But as it is, it's literally just okay. I'm sitting around and kind of bored. I need something to do with my hands, so let's pluck a few chords.
Oh, okay.
Well, it definitely takes talent to play, majority of the instruments. So when you see them being played at that high level, it definitely makes you appreciate it more.
It does not take talent; it takes skill.
And you get skill through practice. That is true. Like somebody like Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix had his own very unique sound. Obviously, this guitarist never exist, but he took a lot of practice for him to get to the best. Became all muscle memory to the point he could just meditate and let that shit just flow out freely. That comes like that with a lot of I myself have made music. That are like I was part of like that huge surge of white rappers that wanted to be a rapper because Eminem came out with 8 Mile. I was part of it too. Like I've even made songs and when you've done tons of freestyle and like there's a certain like meditation. You do a lot of practice in that skill. Once you have that skill, you kind of just like let loose, just kind of flows out of you. It's its own unique thing. And I'm imagine doing the same thing with the instrument. That's the same thing. It's like as a form of like meditation.
Well, just like any skilled type thing that you would ever do, it takes a lot of failing in order to perfect that skill.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just like anything else.
How many bands that have went to some crappy little bar or just kind of like show at the nearest club or whatever, and we're booed off stage. Next thing you know, it's Motley Crue or Journey or whoever. They fail before they become successful. So yes, it absolutely takes practice and dedication and confidence in yourself. I mean, to kind of hear everybody boo you and get thrown off stage and kicked out or whatever, to deal with that and then still consistently do it over and over again and still try to go back at it and go to another party or go to another bar or whatever club or jazz show, whatever, and to keep getting up there and doing it. It's persistence. Persistence is the key.
Yeah. There's like a huge difference between good at playing like the guitar and good at making. Like somebody can like sit there and play to you like Nirvana songs like over and over again, but can they make their own music out of that guitar like where it's completely original? There's a huge difference between like playing an instrument, singing, and making your own music.
Absolutely, which is why a lot of rappers have ghostwriters. They really can't make up their own goddamn rap, so what they do is they have somebody else write their shit for them, and they just make it sound better.
It seems like everybody's got ghostwriters out there anymore. I mean, it's the same difference. Like you could sit there and watch how many fucking seasons of American Idol? They got like fucking 54 of them now. Jeez, like and how many on there how many people on there can sing? Like they can all fucking sing. That's not what it's not what the whole thing is about. Can you read? Can you make your own music? Like they can all get up there and sing the shit out of Elvis Presley and Whitney Houston songs, but when it comes to making their own, they're not.
That's definitely a big part of it. Yeah, absolutely. I would tend to agree.
What about you, John? Like you playing the guitar. Like, have you learned songs? Do you know songs now, or are you making songs or anything like that?
A little bit of both, I would guess. Like since I still am in kind of the learning phase, I play I'll play written songs just to learn the guitar, learn okay, here's where my fingers need to be, here's where here's what I need to do to make specific sounds and stuff like that, and and then I'll just like my practice, nebulous as it is, will literally just be me monkeying around trying out different licks and stuff like that, and it's all shit that I've learned from playing songs and whatnot, but at the same time, I'm just trying to take what I've learned and put it together a little bit. And I've got a couple of quote unquote original tracks that are, just me purely fucking around for the most part.
It's cool though. I respect that. Well, I know
Since
we've had in this podcast before that you said like band camp and shit. That is the guitar is like the only thing that you play, or
Uh, Guitar is the only thing I play right now. When I was in high school, I actually played the tuba, or well, school in general. And really, I just kind of picked up guitar because I missed playing music more than anything. Same reason I picked up singing is that I just kind of missed the performative aspect of it.
right? I could understand that.
and
I
what
guess
everybody doesn't know, John does have a voice, by the way. Heard him say.
Questionable.
I guess the
Since
tuba
you,
ain't like an easy one just to pick up and play in your room, is it?
since you brought that up, Andrew, I mean, didn't you just buy a guitar like a year ago and started kind of messing
Yeah.
around with it? Are you trying to be serious about it? Are you trying to learn how to make your own music? Or you just kind of bought it for a play toy?
It's good. Well, like one of those things I just wanted to pick up and just kind of learn how to play. Like I know the chords. I could do some plucking in here. I could do some strumming. But beyond that, like it's something you have to put a lot of practice. They say that if you want to learn how to play the guitar, really you just got to practice like 5 minutes each every day. I've been kind of like back on that. I'm pretty much doing maybe like 15, 30 minutes like in a whole month. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just it's not seeming it's like really the instrument for me. I'm thinking about maybe like trying to pick up like drums or maybe even like the keyboard or something like that, because there are instruments that I do want to learn. It's just like trying to find one that is like I want to stick with, that I'm gonna be practicing each and every day. Like, I still write to this day. Like I've never given up writing. I write all the time. I've always considered myself more of a writer than an actual like instrumental kind of guy, but I still want to learn how to play it. It's the same thing with learning languages too, man. Like I want to do this stuff. You keep saying it, and it's like the timing is just being a little bitch. Like having the time to be able to busy ass. Yeah, we all got busy ass lives, man. Being able to sit down and get this out of it,
Yeah.
get what you want out of your time is a little bit of a.
I've never really been one to play any kind of instruments. I'm not a guy that has that much rhythm, honestly. I really don't. I mean, it's to be honest with you, I've really never thought about it because never really thought I'd be good at it anyways. And don't get me wrong, I know if I really put my mind to it, I'm a very determined person. So really put my mind to it, I'm sure I could do it. But it's just nothing I really wanted to pick up, honestly, when it comes to instruments and like that. I never really picked it. I mean, I have strummed the guitar. I mean, I've played around with Andrews a little bit here and there. And yeah, I used to know a guy that used to play the ukulele. I think that's pretty cool. I used to play with that a little bit, but nothing serious, nothing that I pick up personally. It's just more along the line, oh, it's there. Let me play along with it. I mean, it's
All right.
really had the ambition to play with instruments, honestly. I really did.
Get that, yeah.
I guess kind of touching on that a little bit. I sort of made the distinction earlier, but learning to do, I mean, anything really, but learning to play music, play an instrument or singing or anything, it's not necessarily something you need to have a talent for. It's all skill, learning how to control your voice, how to make, sing from one note to another. Same thing with the guitar or any other instrument, how to, learn where the notes are on the instrument and how to, string them together to make an actual song or a lick or anything. It's, I guess this is more of a message for anybody who's trying to learn something. Don't be afraid to fail. That's it. We all fuck up. It's nothing I've ever been successful was something I just did. It was something I fucked up in every possible permutation of the way, and then finally managed to get it right, and then just kept trying to do it right. Uh, if you want to learn a
I think that
skill, whether it be language, playing a guitar, or any other kind of instrument or whatever, just fucking put your nose to the grindstone. You do it.
that's very true, John. I think that's actually a good thing to say there too, man. Because go up to Michael Jordan, you could go up to like Mike Tyson, you go up to whoever. Nobody was champion when they first stepped into. Nobody was like the best on the court when they first stepped. Nobody was the best at anything when they first picked it up. Wanted to be the best, so they put the determination, focus, in the practice to obtain that skill. That's what made them become the best. It was them determination and willpower to learn that. And it's like the same thing with music, man. I mean, obviously, like thing like having a voice, being able to sing, something like it does take a certain amount of talent when it's come to build. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like when it comes to learning like instruments or even learning music in itself, and like It takes work. It's not something you're gonna pick up at 5-10 minutes, man. You're just gonna have to sit there and do it each and every fucking day.
You got to have passion for what you're doing, or if you have passion for what you're doing, you're just going to continue to fail. You got to determine yourself to do it, and as long as you kind of have the passion for whatever you're doing, whether it be cooking, singing, playing the guitar, throwing a football, playing basketball, hitting a hockey puck, whatever it may be, passion is going to drive you. Passion's a very big thing that it can definitely take you far away if you have enough of it.
Take you as far as you want to, man. As long as you keep going at it, the better you're gonna get. That was the one thing that Jimi Hendrix said, man. Jimi Hendrix was asked, "How do you feel to be like the best guitarist?" I hate compliments. Still learning. I'm still trying to get better. What do you think of me? I'm the best now. And he's like, I'm still trying to get better. Same thing with all the greats when it comes to anything in general, but when it comes to music too, like. Always wanted that challenge. That was wasn't the whole reason why Kurt Cobain committed suicide, because he lost his passion in music. I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure on suicide. No, he said he committed suicide because he lost his passion in music. And somebody as great as popular as him, he lost his passion, and next thing you know, the guy don't even want to be on the planet anymore. I'm sure there was other issues.
I was about to say he obviously had other issues other than just lost his passion. Music. That's a little much, but yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys something, because I'm curious to what you guys. You get trapped on a desert island, right? A CD player, only get to bring 3 CDs. CDs you bring. But then we hear what you got, John.
Can they be mixed CDs?
Because
if they can't,
it cannot. Nope. It's got to be a CD that you got to buy. You can't make.
So good try, John.
He did.
My answer to that is fucking kill me.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You can't tell me you can't pick 3 CDs.
It's
fucking
tough.
Kill me.
It really is tough. It definitely.
It's a bit more.
Let me go first. I'll go first. I'll give John time.
Obviously, dude, because John's about to kill himself over.
I'll go first. I'll say number 1 would be Creed, My Own Prison. See, if I'm on a deserted island, it's a depressing time, so I definitely need that. That's. I have to say Bone Thugs and Harmony, Creep.
Yeah.
And then I would have to say last one. I'm gonna have to say Eminem, Between the Eminem Show, Marshall Mathers LP. Toss up.
You gotta pick one.
If I had to pick one, Marshall Mathers LP.
Alrighty. See, that's how it's done, John. That's how you pick 3 CDs without killing yourself. Come on, you want to retry that, John? You tell me you can't give me.
My 3 choices are fucking, kill, and me. I don't.
Think you're just.
Here's my thing. I don't want to just pick 3 CDs of what's going to be just the same thing, more or less. Each of those CDs is obviously going to be fucking like Eminem rapping or Linkin Park going emo or whatever. I don't want just that. I want variety.
I think.
Let's say for example,
find a way to completely ruin the question.
We're invincible, John. You could not die. You were mortal to everything. You had to go to an island, and you had to pick 3 CDs. Let's play it like that. Go.
I don't know, Nick. I'm just ready to pull the trigger after all that, to be honest.
Yeah. The answer is still fucking kill me.
How about this? Let me answer this. It's going to be funny. Exactly what he just said. First one would be Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. Damn straight, I just said that.
Yeah.
The second one would be Eminem Show, and I picked those 2 just on purpose. And my third one probably be Dr. Dre Chronic.
Okay.
It'll be a toss between that and 3 Days Grace 1X.
Are you sure you can't come up with 3 real quick? You sure?
Yes, I just gave you 3.
No, I
Talking dumb.
No. Honestly, no. It's just sort of like I don't want just 3 CDs, especially because on most CDs by bands there's 1 or 2 really good tracks and the rest of them are just kind of filler. Let me just have all the really good music and not have to go, oh, okay, this one's but I'll listen to it because it's on.
You can choose 3 CDs with it's got 3. You told me you wouldn't want a clean CD. You'd rather be stuck on an island without any music. You want a clean CD or a Metallica CD?
Got this. Have to pick 3 CDs or everybody you know and love dies. Go.
Bye.
Jesus Christ.
There's no hope.
I'm sorry. You guys aren't going to win this battle. It's just.
Now you're just
I
going off
gave
pure
up.
stubborn. Now you're just being pure stubborn. That's all it is.
I'm honestly not being stubborn. It's not. That's it. I just. 3 CDs. Like, okay, if you gave me, 10 to 15 tracks per CD, or just 10 to 15 tracks in general, I could give you something. But 3 CDs by, people. Like, that's it. Most of the music I listen to, these people don't make CDs. In fact, the only person who did actually make a CD, I don't even know if it's a physical copy, but it's Bullet Hell by RichaadEB.
Okay, how about this, John?
I'm going to count that as one of your CDs.
Shut up, John. Try to compromise this question, right? 3 songs.
3 songs.
That's even harder.
No, I can do this one easy.
Okay.
Sleep by Eric Whitacre. It's just absolutely beautiful orchestral piece. Although I would have to say I want the a cappella version. Blooming by Bandmade, because it is literally just one of the most musically dense songs I've ever heard. And Kiss by a Rose meets Metal by E-Rock 311, because I legitimately want that song played at my funeral.
Oh, really?
Okay. Accept that as an answer, John. We will.
Kiss by a Rose, played by.
Kiss by a Rose, or Kiss on a Rose, whatever it is. Kiss on a Rose meets Metal by E-Rock 311. Or 3. Oh, God, I'm sorry. His real name's Eric Caldrone. I'll just throw that out there. But yeah, those songs.
If we're doing one thing in this episode, you're definitely helping some people that don't have big names reach more people.
And that's part of why I wanted to do this episode, is that because that's it, help drive attention to some really good musicians.
It's cool, man, and I think it's cool also that we like, obviously from hearing this, like, the 3 of us all have like different opinions when it comes to music. It's like important to people to know that, man. Like, music is just personal preference. That's all it really is.
Music is like art. Everybody feels different. With that being said, everybody, this is going to conclude episode 8 of the JNA Podcast. Everybody be safe, behave, be friendly, subscribe, like to the channel. If you guys have any topics you guys want us to discuss on the channel, please don't be bashful. Throw it in the comment section. We'll definitely consider it and most likely, talk about it either way. But with that being said, everybody have a good night for the rest of your week and while it still lasts. Love.
Be kind to each other.
Here we go.